Hello everyone, welcome to today's presentation. I am a CISO of University of Australia. Today we are looking into cybersecurity risk and strategy. Recently, Melbourne TAFE data breach exposed 55,000 students and staff files. This breach had affected students, staff and suppliers whose details were held on Melbourne Polytechnic's IT systems. There are high profile breaches all over the world, and it's important to develop a cybersecurity strategy. NIST has defined four framework implementation tiers, and according to that, University of Australia is in tier 3, which is repeatable. CSF standards have been implemented across the university, enabling it to repeatedly respond to incidents. Policy is consistently applied, and employees are informed of risk. We have interactive risk management participation. Our senior executives should monitor and treat cybersecurity risks the same as other risks. Our university understands its role and how it fits into the larger ecosystem. We are looking forward to achieving the goal of Tier 4, which is adaptive, so that we proactively detect threats and predict issues based on current trends and IT architecture. We need following key drivers and stakeholders in our university with different roles and responsibility, like we need management team for approving risk management policies, ensure development of risk management program and training. At the time of investigation, in eradication and recovery stages, we need information security office personnel who will determine the priority scope, root cause of the incident, along with management team, information security or IT. Overall, we have following stakeholders: management team, IT, legal, public relations, HR, physical security, and facilities team. To analyze risk, we first study all asset inventory items of value. We can see risk analysis of the first asset, which have which I have mentioned is server. And for server, we have threats like DDoS, credential based exploits and data breach. It may have a severe impact, like all services, websites, emails will fail and it won't work at least for 3 hours, though the probability is rare because we already have security enhanced hardware and software level protection in place. And for credential based exploit and data breach, it's also have critical impact and the probability is low, as we have used the multi-factor authentication for all remotes and access to business systems for all users when they perform privileged action or access an important data repository. Next exit is website. It also has threat of DDoS with high impact, and the probability is high as the firewall is in place and configured correctly, but there are so many different kinds of DDoS attacks, so it will have a high probability. Moving on to the next asset, student information data, which may have threat of credential based exploits and data breach. This also will have severe impact with low probability because we are using multi-factor authentication for all remote access to our business systems and for all users when they perform privileged action or access an important data repository. Next asset is a learning application. We have threats of malware, virus, DDoS, and phishing attack. Malware and virus have high impacts, and phishing attack is a medium impact. And the probabilities are for both malware and virus, it's low probability. And for phishing attack, it is medium probability. We have greater collaboration and information sharing about phishing scams and how they look like. Next asset is network system or firewall. The threat is internal threat or system intrusion, and these both are critical, will have critical impacts, and probability is low. We have established physical security in work environment, and we have implemented security software and appliances. The next one is risk control recommendations. Now for these assets, which we have the threats for for server, we should take the action, accept it, and develop an incident management plan to deal with consequences of risk if it occurs. And the life cycle stage is exploitation. For credential based exploits and data breach for a server, we should take action of transfer and transfer it to cloud migration, and the life cycle stage is reconnaissance. For the asset website, we have threat of DDoS action. We should take transfer to cloud migration, and it should take care in all the stages of life, all life cycle stages. Student information data, we have credential based exploits and data breach threats, and action should be mitigate. We should be implementing or improving quality control processes and staff training by discouraging users from reusing the same passwords across, providing user awareness training for all staff, and the life cycle stage will be reconnaissance. For learning application, we have four threats: malware, virus, phishing attack, and DDoS. We should mitigate all of them. We should keep computer software update. We should get anti-phishing add-ons. And for malware and virus, we have to take care in all the stages of life cycle. And for phishing attacks, life cycle stage is reconnaissance. For network systems or firewall, we have two threats: zero day attack and system intrusion. We should mitigate them, and we should monitor activity within 24 by 7. And all those tools we should use, and use network segment, use VPN connection, and we should take care of this for all the stages in life cycle. Control recommendations that identify prevention of protection strategies at each stage of cyber attack life cycle. So at first stage of the reconnaissance, we should consider the DDoS attacks for this example and the stage 1 at reconnaissance stage. First phase is botnet, which requires reconnaissance. Digital signatures of known malware can be used to block malware intended to create bots via firewall or other inspection platforms. Second stage is weaponization. From the perspective of software manufacturer, improved security practices and standard configurations would assist in reducing a number of possible exploits available for attackers to target. Third stage is delivery, which with regard to defending against delivery of such malware, digital signatures can be used to identify and prevent the installation of known malware. Stage 4 is exploitation. The exploitation of would be bots is made possible through unpatched software vulnerabilities. So application whitelisting whitelisting can be leveraged to allow the user to explicitly control executables that are run on host by comparing application attempting to run host machine which no known application database. This way we can prevent even zero-day exploit. Control recommendations. Fifth stage is installation. Similar defenses for exploitation phase. We should use host-based intrusion detection system and application whitelisting to control against the phase of attack. Stage 6 Stage 6 command and control. C2. After weapon has been successfully installed and beacon to botmaster, the target is officially controlled by botmaster. Bot miners and bots VAT are few of the implementations used to detect existence of botnets on the network and host respectively. 7th stage action and objectives. Once C2 channel has been established, attackers have complete access into inside the target environment. So defense against these actions are cumulation of all previously discussed techniques. Host and network monitoring tools, honeypots, and legal actions are possible mechanism to prevent and detect these things. The final part of this presentation is data breach, incident response plan, and course of action for each stage of incident response. Stage 1 is preparation. We have required team and action should be taken at this stage is communication of plan, organizational approach, and roadmap of developing incident response capability, and context of organization's mission, strategies, goals, and policies. In this stage, there are lots of legislative requirements. We have to take care of legislative requirements. Stage 2 Identification. Information security office personnel will determine priority scope, and root cause of incident by asking various questions. Continuing the stage 2 is identification, categorization of threat level and impact. We will create an incident classification framework so that we can properly prioritize the incident response activities. The legal team will review incident response plans and provide guidance if an incident may have legal consequences. Containment stage, we have to take action to limit and prevent further damage to system. Stage 4, eradication. This stage involves resetting and restoring systems. This is post incident repair of affected systems, communication, and instructions to affected parties. Stage 5, recovery. At recovery stage, we will bring system back into production and restore data after testing and monitoring the system. Sixth stage is lesson learned. In this, we have to determine what worked well in our response plan and where there were some holes. Lessons learned from both mock and real events will help to strengthen our systems against future attacks. That's it. Thank you for watching my presentation.